The following is a presentation of TFNN. Trade what you see with Larry Pesavento. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648 or internationally at 727-873-7618. Now, Larry Pesavento.
Okay, looking good, Billy Ray, feeling good, Lewis. We're going to change pace here a little bit today. Our guest today is we're going back into our Astro trading book with Tim Bost, Financial Cycles Weekly, always a great guest, and he'll be talking to us. He's got quite a few slides, so he'll be coming up at the break. I think we'll have a lot of fun with it. Now, the first chart that I posted, folks, it's been 2 weeks. It was actually 2 weeks ago on April 1st that we did the live trading in London. We did that 10-hour stint with Tom Hugard. And Tom and I really had a lot of fun that day. Fortunately, we were lucky we didn't have any losses. We had a few break-evens and did all right. But anyway, the ABCD stuff has started to catch on with some of those folks over there. This was a post that was sent to some of the group from Tom's Telegram group that went out showing the ABCD patterns in this thing to see what's going on here. You'll notice here, folks, that when the market made its top up here, that was basically a butterfly pattern. You come down, you make it beautiful. Look at this. I mean, it goes up 50%, comes ABCD perfect, down up 50%, and down again. So it doesn't work all the time, but when it does work, it certainly does help. Now, most of you know that my dearest friend, Byron Tucker from the old days at the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, he and I talk daily, but he's been traveling for the last couple of weeks. He was actually in about 3 or 4 different countries in Europe, and in North Africa. He has some business contacts there at Casablanca and Marrakesh and some other place that I never even heard of. But we were able to chat for about an hour today, just about old-time stuff. And I asked him, I said, Byron, I said, of all the stuff that we've done, over these past 38 years, I said, what was one of the most memorable days? And he said, Larry, he said, that's really easy. He said, do you remember the day we were going to lunch with Jimmy Schmidt and we were standing on the corner and this young couple was there and the woman was crying and holding the baby? And I said, yeah. I said, I remember it real well. And he said, that was the day, he said, that really changed it for me, he says, because what happened was this couple was I think it was in Nebraska. They were from Nebraska, and someone had stolen their money, and they were trying to get enough money to get on the bus to go to Nebraska. And so, Jimmy Schmidt, he was a floor trader in the T-bills, which was the big thing at the time. And he said, let's take care of that. And I said, sure. So what we did is we put him in a cab and took him to the cab took him to the. We gave the money to the cab driver, and we took him to take this, and we gave him $150 for the tickets. The tickets were about $25-30 at that time to go to Nebraska from Chicago, and gave him enough money for a couple days' food and stuff like that, and sent them on their way. And Jimmy Schmidt said to Byron, he said, you know what we should do? He says, anytime somebody asks us for money, he said, let's give it to them. If they ask for $100, you give them $100. If they ask for $5, you give them $5. The only 2 things that you don't do is if they're drinking or smoking, you don't have to give them anything at all. So if someone's smoking, you don't have to give them anything. So that was the main thing. And so over the years, we kept track of who, gave the most money. And at the time, I think that $150 stood for, probably 10 years or so. But what happened to me in November of 1995, I had to go back to, I was just moved here. I've been here a year in Arizona, and I had to go back to San Luis Obispo because I had a meeting with Michael Weintraub and some other people, John Raffoni and stuff, so I had to go back for that. And there was a birthday party for John at the time. And so I was heading back, and I was leaving 2 days before Thanksgiving. Fibonacci retracement. Oh, let me finish this story, and I'll tell you about TLT, jambalaya. That's a big one coming up. Okay. Anyway, I was driving my car, and I pulled into a gas station there in Blythe, California, just on the other side of the border, right across the Colorado River. And I was getting gas, and this young man came up to me, and he said, can you help me? And I said, why? He said, well, my car is broken, and I'm trying to get to California. And he said, I'm from Arizona. And he said, I see you're from Arizona. And I said, well, where's the car? He said, it's in that Shell station over there. And I says, what are you doing over here? And he said, I was just looking around maybe to raise some money so I could get to get back to California. And I said, oh, okay. So I didn't think much of it. So I filled up the car. Then I drove around the corner. It was about across the street. And I went over to the Shell station. And I said, do you have a car here for a gentleman that he said, yeah. He said, he's got a busted fuel pump and something else that was wrong with the car. And I said, how much is it to get fixed? He said about 200, and he said, I think it's 286, somewhere in that ballpark. And I said, is he legit? And he said, yeah. He said, that's his wife and kid right there in the lobby. And I looked, and there he was and everything. And I said, he just can't get it fixed. He said, well, he's trying to raise money, but he said, I don't think he's going to do very good. And I reached in my pocket, and I gave him $300 bills. And I said, go ahead and pay for this. I said, I don't want anybody to know that I'm doing this. I said, because I'm just giving him the money, get the car fixed. If there's any money left, give him some food. And by golly, I left and got ready to leave. And he said, hey. And I said, yeah. He said, here's your $300 back. He said, I'll cover it. And I said, no, that's nice of you. I said, just give the $300 to the family. I said, they need it. And I said, I did this. And I said, I'm glad you're doing it, but let's help them out. And he said, that's very unusual. And then I told him the story about, all this stuff. And that record is still stands, the $300. So we've never had anybody ask for anything more than that. So I always try to, and certainly, I'm certainly not, I don't know what a minch is. Is it minch bad? I guess it is. I don't remember. I know ganef and some of the other things in the Hebrew language, but that one I don't know. I know ganef and goya and a few other things, but that's all I try to do. And, then that's pretty much it. But it's good when you help somebody out that really needs it. It really does help. Who was really big at this was Mark and Paula Douglas. Oh, my God. They were another ones that were really heavily involved in, doing some of that one. So at the end of the day, when I tell you to help out your neighbors, it don't have to be much. And when you see, people out there trying to raise money, I know some of them are professionals and stuff like that, but use your own judgment and try to help them out, the best you can. Well, at least this show started out a little bit better than the one yesterday. Anyway, regarding Joe, I love him. He's just a little eccentric, and there's nothing you can do about it. I hope I didn't offend too many people, but that's just the way he is. Some people are that way. You got to respect what they do. That's basically it. Anyway, we got Tim Bost coming on, and he's going to be coming at the break, and he's really, really good. When we come back here, I will talk about the TLT right after this break, because I think that's the big one, folks. I really think a minch. Okay, all right, this is good. Okay, there you go. Now I know another one. All right. Okay, let's talk about this TBT and stuff when we come back, because we had a 3-point bounce off the bottom, but I don't think that's the one that we want to get. I think we've got to wait. We'll be right back. 877-927-6648.
You might think that if you want to be successful at trading in the stock market, you're going to need a crystal ball. After all, it's impossible to predict the future, right? Like any endeavor in life, before you decide it's impossible, get some advice from the experts. You might find that it's not so impossible after all. For daily market overviews that give you direction on the key indices, selective stocks, and commodities, subscribe to the Opening Call newsletter at TFNN.com. The Opening Call newsletter is written by Basil Chapman, creator of the trading methodology known as the Chapman Wave. The Chapman Wave up-down sequence gives you an edge in identifying price turns, finding the peaks and valleys in stock prices. Get the Opening Call newsletter by Basil Chapman in your inbox every day. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know, and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. TFNN.com, educating investors.
What's separating you from the most successful men and women on Wall Street? That's right. Information. Having all the information gives us the perspective we need to place the right trades at the right time. The TAS Profile Scanner is the premier market profile-based scanner. Powered by its acclaimed TAS proprietary algorithms, this feature-rich scanner instantly filters over 2,500 plus global financial markets, such as stocks, ETFs, commodities, futures, and Forex. This powerful suite of tools leverages instant trade filtering and strategy formulation to show you emerging trades before they happen. For a limited time, you can save $100 off your first month by using the promo code UPGRADE, and you still get a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. Level the playing field with the TAS Profile Scanner, which you can find under the Services tab at TFNN.com. Sign up today.
Sharpening your skills as an investor is like getting better at playing a musical instrument. You have to practice, sure, but you also need excellent instruction from experts. At TFNN, you'll get advice and guidance from the authority in technical market analysis. And it's not just dry, tedious text either. TFNN airs live financial content streamed live on TFNN.com and TFNN's YouTube channel with Tiger TV, live every market day from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern, for free. Each host is an experienced trader and gives their take on the market while taking calls and questions live from around the world. From the moment the market opens until the closing bell sounds, Tiger TV has 8 different shows with expert hosts to help you make the right moves with your money. Watch online at TFNN.com or on TFNN's YouTube channel and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-873-7618.
Okay, folks, we have a caller on the line. What can I help you with, young man or young lady?
Yeah. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, Larry. How are you today?
I am very good. What's your name?
Name is Michael. I'm calling from Niagara.
Oh, yes, I see. I'm unfortunately, I'm not able to get that message today, but go ahead, Mike. What can I help you with, buddy?
Yeah, what's the status on your UNG natural gas trade?
Well, I mean, I'm not in the natural gas. You know, I nibbled at the short side at 7-11 yesterday for a little bit, ended up making a little bit of money, but I saw today that it jumped about 30 handles here in the last 2 hours. There must have been some type of a news announcement to see it get up to 723, because once we cleared above 700 or 7, you know, it just doesn't have much resistance up there. So that's what I'm basically looking at. Of course, I trade that short term, as you know.
Yeah, so they tested October, maybe we have a double top and then a pullback?
That's a possibility, but this is the pork bellies of the futures market, because it really jumps around a lot. So I suggest people to trade the natural gas, move to a 30-minute or 15-minute chart. Keeps your patterns acceptable as far as a loss you can take. You can trade it for $6 or $7, which is a pretty good amount. But when it swings, you can see today we went down 2,000 and up 3,000. That's a $5,000 swing. That's like 100 handles in the S&P. So you can see the volatility that you have there.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And do you plan to upload yesterday's show on YouTube?
No, we had some technical difficulties with that, but we'll get it sorted out.
Okay, thank you very much.
Hey, thanks you for calling in. I appreciate it. That's really good. Anyway, hope that helps. Let's get back. I posted a chart here of the Treasury bonds and also Treasury notes. Those of you that belong to the 24/7 service, I've sent this out as a special on the, we're going to trade the Treasury bonds. We had a big move in the bonds yesterday on the upside and also on the notes, but they're coming right back down again as they should. And I believe there might be a bottom coming in here, but I believe, and hey, listen, this is my opinion, and opinions are like armpits. Everybody has one and it usually smells. So what you got to remember is I'm just looking at the charts. And all I can tell you is when you see a market that's in the news like this every single day, they talk about the yield spread and we've been talking about that yield spread now for 7 months, when it was starting to turn down. So now everybody's finally on the wagon train, and now the train is running out of horses, I think. So this is my 2 cents worth, okay? I think that we're probably getting ready, and I don't know what'll cause it. We're probably getting ready for about a $15 move in Treasury bonds. Now that's $15,000, folks. And the risk on it is probably going to be about $1,000. And the probability of it happening is probably 50-50. So you got a 50-50 chance of making 15 to 1. Now, those are good odds. So if we get down there to that 140 level, oops, I let that out of the bag. In the Treasury bonds, that's where I'd be taking a look and see what's going on. See, that's be looking at it. All right. Okay, let's move on. Okay, hold on 1 second, folks. The old Palo Verdes are in bloom today. We were springtime here, and so I was doing really good until early this morning, but I think I'll be okay when we move on here to the next side. So that's all I'm thinking about. Al, I know you're listening out, but if we do have a guest come in to Tiger. Oh, you know what? If I go to the host chat, I think that's where it is. Yeah, that's where it is. Son of a gun. I missed it. And there was some guy from Farmington. Yeah, I see it now. I'm missing all there. It'll take me a while to get used to this. Maybe in 2036, I'll probably get this up here, figure out. All right, let's move on here. By the way, I didn't get to listen to Basil's show yesterday, but boy, I got some feedback from a couple of his friends that are also our friends, and boy, they really liked it. And Basil is so good at what he does, folks. He's been around for a long time. He knows stocks like backwards and forwards. I mean, you just can't put anything by him. Oh, by the way, some people have asked me about Elon Musk's buying Twitter. Hey, it's no different than what Jeff Bezos bought the Washington Post. It's just going to be his platform so he can get out there and move on. I don't think they would allow Mr. Trump to buy Twitter, but he probably tried. But that's basically my opinion of what he's doing. He's going to have a platform to do whatever he wants to do. Now, I wanted to show you one other thing, folks, because eventually this is going to happen, and this is very important from a technical standpoint. Let me get this up here so we can take a quick look at it. This is what's happening. And this is the last, I think it's the last month or so in the Bitcoin, but you can see the 382 retracements here. This was the first one, the second one, the third one, the fourth one, the fifth one, the sixth one, and now we're finally getting a big rally out of here. So that's what's probably going to happen with the Treasury notes. We're going to get down here to probably another point lower in the T-notes. And then when it get there, it makes a breakout to the downside, and everybody's going to be yelling and screaming, okay, now, we're in a recession and stuff. That's what's going to turn around and go. And I'm not saying it's 100%. I'm saying it's 50-50. But if we get down there at that level, it's going to be a screaming buy. If you just look at those two charts I put up there on the bonds and the notes, it's telling you those ABCDs are completing, and you're going to be buying at a pretty good level, and you have to risk about $1,000. But like I said, you got a 15 to 1 shot of payoff, and all that 15. Believe it or not, folks, a 15 handle rally doesn't even get it to the 382 of the last major high from a year and a half ago. That's how bearish these bonds have been. I mean, that's been when we had that 135 pattern happened about 2 months ago, when the Fed came out and said, yeah, we're going to raise rates. And the market said, oh, gee, that's wonderful. And, of course, it rallies for one day and then says, oh, well, maybe that's not so good. And then, boom, back down it is. So that's all I'm watching it. I just look at the charts, folks. I really do. Honest to God, folks, I haven't heard any news. Since before we left, which was on the 29th, I didn't watch anything during the time other than small bits and pieces. I didn't even know that there was a tragedy of some terrorist stuff in New York until late yesterday. I didn't. So you know what? And I didn't miss it at all. That's the beauty of the whole doggone thing. So anyway, we're going to have Tim Bost up here, and he is going to talk about the markets. And that's what we like to do here, is to try to talk about the market. So I'll try to do that. I've had several requests to talk more about, some of the stories of over the years that I've had, and I have a whole bunch of written pages, and I'll try to dig those up and relate some of the stories. Some of you've heard them before. I'm sure you heard the one I just did a little while ago before. But Byron said he thought it was the most significant thing that happened, and we had a lot of significant things happen over those years. But anyway, that's what we're looking at here. So we got a break coming up here pretty soon with Tim Bost of Financial Cycles Weekly. Tim can handle all the charts himself, so I don't have to worry about posting anything. So that's the main thing that we're looking at here today. I haven't checked the markets for the last 10 or 15 minutes, but we'll see what's happening. Okay, 877-927-6648.
Are you having fun trading the markets, but having trouble finding like-minded individuals to discuss your trading and investment ideas with? Become an apex predator in the trading markets and join the Tiger's Den Trading Room only at TFNN.com. The Tiger's Den is an exclusive trading room where successful traders from around the world come to exchange trades and ideas. Join the den and surround yourself with the sharpest minds in the trading world. Subscribers to the Tiger's Den are also the first to have their questions answered live on air and can privately chat with our TFNN hosts live during their shows. Interact with other Tigers and Tigresses as they share trading ideas, news analysis, and discuss the market action all trading day. Subscribe to the Tiger's Den risk-free with our 30-day money-back guarantee and become part of the TFNN trading community. TFNN, educating investors.
You could be making money off the stock market. And if you're already making money off the stock market, you could be making a lot more. Check out TFNN and Tiger TV and get expert investing advice to give you the power to control your financial future. Go to TFNN.com and find the newsletter for you. Whether you're into trading gold, metals, futures, currencies, or options, you'll get advice and analysis to help you seriously get ahead. TFNN also features trading services with a 30-day money-back guarantee for new subscribers, as well as TFNN's Tiger Den Trading Room, trading software, and educational webinars for all trading levels. And make sure you check out Tiger TV for free on TFNN.com or TFNN's YouTube channel for live financial content from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern on market days. Stop watching on the sidelines while other people get rich and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABCs, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
This segment is brought to you by Thinkorswim. For more information, just click the Thinkorswim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Okay, folks, we're back, and I believe we have the pride and joy of Bradenton, Florida as our guest, Financial Cycles Weekly host, Mr. Tim Bost. Tim, welcome to TFNN.
Well, I'm so delighted to be with you today, sir. I hope everything's going well on your end today.
Oh, just living the green dream, baby, on the green side of the grass, as always.
Excellent. We definitely like to keep an eye on what's happening things here from the astrological perspective. We try to apply our knowledge of what's going on planetarily and the various factors that can impact things from outer space, and try to connect it with the markets.
You do an excellent job of it, my friend. So please continue.
Absolutely. So what we're looking at here as we get ready for a little bit of a holiday time, the market's closed tomorrow, is something that's happening over the weekend. This will be coming up on Saturday, in fact, and we expect it to have a market impact that carries over into next week and beyond. This is a direct station by one of our trans-Neptunian buddies, Vulcanus. This is one of these outer planets that is out in the Kuiper Belt. And on the 16th of April, it will be stopping its retrograde motion and resuming direct motion. So that's something that we pay attention to whenever we see a shift in direction with a planet. Sometimes we see a corresponding shift with the markets as well in terms of market direction. Now, this has been a retrograde since the 1st of November, and it will make this direct station early in the astrological sign of Leo. We're not going to pay much attention to that position, but just to kind of frame it for you, this is what we have coming up. Now, when we look at Vulcanus, we mentioned this is an outer body in the solar system. It's out in the Kuiper Belt. It has an orbital period of 663 years. So what the sun does, from our perspective, we know the Earth goes around the sun, but from our earthbound perspective, it looks like the opposite is happening. And so once a year, the sun comes back to the same point in the zodiac, and that's an annual return, we call that. So it's our birthday. Whenever we have a solar return, that's our birthday. That we do that in 365 days. Saturn takes almost 30 years to do the same thing. Pluto about 248 years, and Vulcanus 663 years. So this is an incredibly slow-moving object, and what it does is move forward through the zodiac by a little more than 1/2 a degree a year. 32.5 minutes. So there are 60 minutes in a degree. So that's the thing. But we're concerned about its impact, obviously, from a symbolic or cultural perspective, as well as what it can do to the market. So when we talk about Vulcanus, this is an expression of what we call super Uranus energies. Uranus is the planet with an 84-year cycle that's associated with very dramatic, explosive, surprising events. That things kind of blow up and erupt with that. What happens with Vulcanus is that we have a massing of that explosive power. So it's unstoppable power. It is totally overwhelming. The idea here is we're going to gather up as much force as possible. Now, we see this in nature, of course, with hurricanes or volcanic eruptions, earthquakes, things of that sort. The thing that's always amazing is how powerful it is, right? We just thought we were going to have a little bit of rain and maybe some breeze here, and there's enough wind to knock down buildings and devastate things. This is an offer you can't refuse is a great key word with this. It's the idea that we can build up enough force or power to take on a dominant position, whether we're trying to put tanks on somebody's border or trying to do a business deal, or we're like Elon Musk wanting to buy up all of the Twitter stock. I'm going to go total full out here, and we'll be unstoppable there. So lots of intention, lots of of intensity, lots of strength, and sometimes it can turn into very, very coercive energy. At best, it indicates a kind of internal will that won't let things go. So we get these planetary stations periodically. This is what is looking like, and we notice here that as this occurs on Saturday, we've got a little red circle around the Vulcanus symbol there, but it's making a 150-degree angle to Mars at that time, which gives us more intensity. Also a 60-degree angle over on the left there to the trans-Neptunian Admetos. So this is a very, very high tension kind of dynamic. So we'll be watching this over the weekend and in subsequent days as well. But what we like to do is study what's happened before with the markets. You know, our famous disclaimer is past performance doesn't guarantee future results, but we'd like to figure out what the past performance actually looks like. And this is the S&P 500 and how it has responded historically to Vulcanus direct stations. And what we can see is there's typically an uptrend going into, about 10 days or a week beforehand, and we go into a period of congestion for roughly 2 weeks around the time. That 0 point in the middle, by the way, is the time of the station, which would be Saturday in this particular case. And then after that, the S&P, 10, 12 days or so after the event itself tends to get back into gear, and there's an upward move at that point. So on this basis, we've done a little bit of analysis, and this is what we look at here as an optimum trade with the S&P, whether you're trading the SPY or E-minis, whatever instrument you're using. It all applies here. We'd be looking to buy on Monday, the 18th. This, again, this occurs on Saturday. When the markets reopen on Monday, we'd be looking at taking a position then, which ideally we would hold until Friday, the 6th of May. A couple of weeks period there with that. This has a 69% probability of being a winning trade based on our back testing and studying what the market has done with these Vulcanus stations in the past. The expected ROI on that would be around 1.3%. And certainly, that's up to your discretion as to whether those are kinds of return and probability that you like to see, given your own individual risk tolerance and trading expertise there. So we look at this, and the one thing that we want to be clear about here is that different markets respond in different ways to the planetary phenomena. We'll show one more example here of a market. This is USO, which is the exchange traded fund, the ETF for oil in the U.S. Markets. And so we'd like to look at that because it gives us a good way of encapsulating oil prices. And what we see here is a run-up into the Vulcanus station and then a sharp decline right afterwards. It's a very, very dramatic kind of connection with the oil markets when we have these Vulcanus stations. So that's something that we want to pay attention to for sure here. In this case, we would take a short position, obviously, with that kind of a move lining up. Ideally, we would sell short on the 21st of April and then hold that for about 5 days and cover that position on April the 28th. That has a 73% likelihood of being a favorable trade for us. And here's what's interesting, at least to me, is that we could look at the potential here for an ROI of a little over 7%, about 7.33% there, at least potentially. So, again, the reminder, past performance doesn't guarantee future results, but this is the kind of thing that we look at with these planetary phenomena. And, of course, we try to go above and beyond and look at these weird little things that other financial astrologers aren't considering in the same way as well.
Hey, Tim, we got to take a break, and then I have a favor to ask when we get back. Okay, Tim Bost, folks,
Absolutely.
Financial Cycles Weekly. We'll be right back.
Are you in the market for buying or selling real estate in the Bay Area, including the surrounding St. Petersburg, Tampa, and Clearwater markets? Tiger Real Estate LLC is a firm that has extensive experience in the Tampa Bay area. Whether you're looking to sell your current property for maximum value or you're in the market for a second home or investment property, Tiger Realty has the experience across all areas of real estate in the Tampa Bay area to help buyers and sellers make the most informed decisions across all price levels. From the price you should be paying per square foot in certain up-and-coming areas to the type of cash flow investment properties are capable of creating, Tiger Real Estate can help you make the best decision when it comes to all areas of the market. Before you make one of the biggest decisions of your financial future, call Tiger Real Estate LLC today at 727-329-8322 or email us at tiger@tfnn.com. That's 727-329-8322. Call us today.
The technology around us is changing every day. With so much happening, it can seem impossible to keep up with all the information. David White's investment newsletter, The Technology Insider, is designed to give you all the information you need to understand the technology that shapes today's markets and tomorrow's future. David White has made his living staying on the cutting edge of technology. His weekly newsletter will give you specific recommendations for value tech stocks, as well as entry prices, target prices, and stops to set for each trade. Dave delivers his weekly newsletters every Friday with updates throughout the week. You can get the Technology Insider at TFNN.com for only $37.50. Sign up for David's newsletter, The Technology Insider, and get an inside look at everything the technology sector has to offer. Try it risk-free today with our 30-day money-back guarantee. TFNN, educating investors.
Are China A-shares hot or not? If you trade China A-shares, now may be time to take a closer look. Trade CHAU or CHAD, Directions Daily CSI 300 China A-share Bull and Bear ETFs. China A-shares in either direction. Visit directioninvestments.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction Shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV.
Okay, folks, we're back. We're chatting with Tim Bost, Financial Cycles Weekly. Tim, regarding this oil trade setting up on the 21st of April, this is an absolute, really a perfect setup. And I know the markets can invert, but I was wondering if you might be able to come on, on the 21st, a week from today. That'll be a Thursday, and maybe we could discuss the outcome of this and if it's inverting. Because, one of my number one thing on my bucket list is to have some major dudes like MIT or Oxford, Cambridge, Pennsylvania State, someplace like that, where they talk about financial cycles on the CNBC and Bloomberg at a regular segment, so people can see that these things are just they're just numbers. That's really it is. It's not anything esoteric like I have newt, toe, frog, nothing like that. So, would you be able to come on, you think, on the 21st for?
Again next week, and we'll keep the trading in Eye of Newt futures a secret between the two of us.
Okay, yeah, because these this is what got me interested in this stuff. Dr. Ruth sat down with me and said, "Look, something's going to happen on this day," and I said, "By golly, you're right," and it was right. It was right better than 3 out of 4 times. So this is a perfect setup. So we'll make sure we have.
Miller was a delightful person. And very enthusiastic about what she had to teach.
Yeah, she actually, she died last year at 96, and they put her in a nursing home when she was 94, and she still had positions on that she was managing. Yeah, so she was still living the dream. Anyway,
I'd
please.
heard about her passing and was unaware
Yeah.
that she was still actively going till the end there. That's great.
Yeah, it was in Sarasota. I went down to Sarasota and spent 2 months with her back in October and November of 1986, where she explained every day, 10 hours, 12 hours, or even longer, for 2.5 solid 10 weeks. And that's all we did was look at all this stuff and numbers and things. And that's when I wrote the book. Anyway, go ahead. Tell us what you're looking at next, my friend.
Well, yes, we're looking here at that oil trade, and of course we like to apply this same principle across the board with our back testing with the Volcanis direct station. In this case, we're looking at Bitcoin, and here's our Bitcoin pair versus the U.S. dollar. And it's interesting here because what we see, again, is a fairly congested or range-bound trading that's going on, and that's very much what's happening with Bitcoin right now. And we'll take a look at another chart for Bitcoin in just a moment here. But there's a potential here for breaking out of that in another 10 days or so after the station itself. So that's something we'll definitely keep an eye on here with Bitcoin. And then based on that, we do the same kind of back testing and strategizing. It looks like the optimum trade here would be to wait until Thursday the 21st and buy a long position in Bitcoin, which potentially we would hold to May the 12th. This has a 90% probability of being a winning trade. Now, I have to caution you about that statistic there. What this means is we've seen exactly in the history of trading of Bitcoin 10 times before. With Volcanis making a direct station. We don't have a lot of longevity with this particular market entity here. So that means that 9 out of the last 10 times, the price of Bitcoin has gone up when this has occurred. And so if we were to position ourselves accordingly, this has that 90% probability. The expected ROI here is about 42%. And again, remember that these Bitcoin numbers, because of the insane volatility in that market, always look a little bit inflated. So, take that with a grain of salt. If you're active in that market, it may be a position that you want to consider on that time frame. At any rate, based on the data that we do have, this tests out pretty well, but we can't neglect to add that caution. Not only that past performance doesn't guarantee future results, but as we're looking at this, we don't have a lot of past performance to base this on. So we want to be clear about that. So let's take a look at what Bitcoin's actually doing here. The last time we got together a few weeks ago, we were seeing this big surge in Bitcoin and looking at the potential breakout above that heavier horizontal line there, which is a Chronos price line. And so we were speculating as to how high it could go. I noted here that when I created this chart a few hours ago, the current price is 41,156, and it has, I think, backed off a little bit. Right now, it's at 40,159, so it's dropped about $1,000 there in the last couple of hours. Not unusual, for Bitcoin at all, but just to kind of put this in perspective, let's take a little closer look here, because what we're dealing with is essentially a trading channel. With Bitcoin. And it becomes clearer and clearer the longer we pay attention to these planetary price lines. In this case, we're not looking at Volcanis. This is a Chronos price line, which are these horizontal, magenta or purple lines, whatever that color is. And then we have the more wavy green lines, which are positions of Venus. And so we're looking at the times when Bitcoin will sometimes track those Venus lines. Sometimes they're strong enough to propel a breakout, but in this case, we saw back some time ago, toward the end of last year, that heavy Volcanis line, Chronos line, providing some support. And just like with most technical charts, sometimes a support area will later become a zone of resistance. And that's exactly what we've seen here in the last few weeks, with Bitcoin trying to break above that line and then that rally failing. So it has pulled back. And what we're watching here is that lower zone where there has been some support in the past. This is an 8 harmonic Chronos line at 37,210. And the closer we get to that, the more pleased we are to add to our longer-term positions in Bitcoin. A couple of days ago, it did break below 40,000. It was trading at 39 and change for just a matter of a few hours before it popped right back up. But whenever we drop below 40 in this kind of scenario and get toward the lower end of that channel, we're looking at that as a buying opportunity.
Mm-hmm. Very good, very good. I really like watching these. It's amazing how these things bounce off those channels. I mean, there has to be something there cyclical, that's for sure. It's not random.
Well, it's definitely not random. And again, the challenge is getting enough data to really refine our perspectives here. So we've been using these planetary price lines for almost a year now, I think, and looking at this as kind of a hypothesis. Well, it looks like it's doing this, and then sure enough, it seems to be complying with that. But it's definitely not the be-all and end-all of understanding the cyclic movements of Bitcoin. So as we continue to have it moving forward, we'll get more and more action here. I have a colleague, I was talking with her yesterday. In fact, she recently returned to New York from spending 4 or 5 days in Miami at the big Bitcoin conference there. And she said that was a very wild scene. Lots of parties going on, but also tremendous confidence in the future for the cryptocurrency. It's very, very interesting to observe the enthusiasm that's there. Don't think it's going to go away anytime soon.
Was there a lot of, you know, if there were a lot of people there, the crowd?
There were. They had predicted 6,000, and they had 26,000 show up.
Yeah. Hey, we'll be back with Tim Bost to get his views on the political structure of the United States. Joking, folks. We're joking. We'll be right back with Tim Bost, Financial Cycles Weekly.
Sharpening your skills as an investor is like getting better at playing a musical instrument. You have to practice, sure, but you also need excellent instruction from experts. At TFNN, you'll get advice and guidance from the authority in technical market analysis. And it's not just dry, tedious text either. TFNN airs live financial content streamed live on TFNN.com and TFNN's YouTube channel with Tiger TV, live every market day from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern. For free. Each host is an experienced trader and gives their take on the market while taking calls and questions live from around the world. From the moment the market opens until the closing bell sounds, Tiger TV has 8 different shows with expert hosts to help you make the right moves with your money. Watch online at TFNN.com or on TFNN's YouTube channel and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
You might think that if you want to be successful at trading in the stock market, you're going to need a crystal ball. After all, it's impossible to predict the future, right? Like any endeavor in life, before you decide it's impossible, get some advice from the experts. You might find that it's not so impossible after all. For daily market overviews that give you direction on the key indices, selective stocks, and commodities, subscribe to the Opening Call newsletter at TFNN.com. The Opening Call newsletter is written by Basil Chapman, creator of the trading methodology known as the Chapman Wave. The Chapman Wave up-down sequence gives you an edge in identifying price turns, finding the peaks and valleys in stock prices. Get the Opening Call newsletter by Basil Chapman in your inbox every day. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know, and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Are you having fun trading the markets but having trouble finding like-minded individuals to discuss your trading and investment ideas with? Become an apex predator in the trading markets and join the Tiger's Den Trading Room only at TFNN.com. The Tiger's Den is an exclusive trading room where successful traders from around the world come to exchange trades and ideas. Join the den and surround yourself with the sharpest minds in the trading world. Subscribers to the Tiger's Den are also the first to have their questions answered live on air and can privately chat with our TFNN hosts live during their shows. Interact with other Tigers and Tigresses as they share trading ideas, news analysis, and discuss the market action all trading day. Subscribe to the Tiger's Den risk-free with our 30-day money-back guarantee and become part of the TFNN trading community. TFNN, educating investors.
Okay, folks, we're back chatting with Tim Bost, Financial Cycles Weekly, and Tim was telling us about the cryptocurrency meeting they had down in Florida, and that they were expecting 6,000, and they got 26,000, something like that.
Right. Yes. I have an associate who traveled. She's in New York and works a lot with private equity situations in linking together investors with entrepreneurs that are trying to get new ventures off the ground. So that's how I got to know her. And a very, very fascinating individual. But she traveled to Miami specifically to attend that conference and spent a good bit of time there attending sessions, understanding a lot of some of the new directions. But the thing that was dominant was the overwhelming enthusiasm for the cryptocurrencies that was expressed there. And this was, I think they had done this event 3 or 4 years in running, and she says Miami is now the global capital for cryptocurrencies, even though there's a conference scheduled, I think, next month in New York for the NFT area, which is another whole can of worms as well. So we're seeing lots of discussion about it, lots of action at different levels, and again, the genie's out of the bottle, or the cat out of the bag, whatever analogy we want to use there, is definitely moving forward with that. So it's kind of an interesting thing to see. And, of course, we've got our book, Bitcoin Astrology, in which we compiled some of the early research on that from an astrological perspective. That was published a few years ago and about ready for a new edition or a second volume with that, because things keep happening in that space. It's very, very intriguing to observe.
It's been going on for a long time now. It's 10 years since they said it was a bubble. So bubbles don't last 10 years.
Right. And the thing about Bitcoin that I think it's helpful for us all to understand is to keep it in perspective as to when this was originated. We had in September of 2008 that colossal financial collapse, and of course Lehman Brothers went belly up and the world shuttered. Bitcoin, the idea was right at the end of October of that year, so it was the new idea in response to the global financial crisis.
Hey, Tim, we'll see you on the 21st, my friend. Stay safe.
Absolutely.
Go with God. We love you, buddy. See you later, folks.